Okay, let's have a look at the mock exam number 2 for Advanced Excel. So here we have the payroll sheet, the payroll table, and these ones are names. They're a little bit hard to read. I will just change the color of these ones. So, okay, so you see these are the names, and we need to calculate the amount of salary of each person. And here we have work hours per month, and then later we need to figure out all the rest. So this one is age. The age we can find in this table here, age. And by name we can search for age. That's exactly when we need to use VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP. Open parentheses, and the lookup value, you should know by now, is the name. The name is not from the table you will refer to later on. It's from your original table. And here, Iris Smith is the input in this case. And the table array, starting from the input and covers at least the output. So at least here, but for the sake of standardization, we just choose a whole table. And the output is in column number 1, 2, 3. So we put 3 here, and the range of the lookup is exact match, because we want to know exactly the salary, in this case, the age of Iris Smith. Not anyone has a similar name with Iris Smith. So it's exact match. Okay. That's 21. Iris Smith, 21, correct. And now we need to drag it horizontally. So it's different than mock exam number 1. We need to drag it downwards. Now we need to drag it horizontally. So you can see later on the column will change from B to C to D, etc. But the row stays the same. That means we need to lock the table by the column. Lock the A and D. B2, we want it to be flexible because later we will search for the age of a different person. Okay, that's it. We have the age covered. And the wages per hour, let's see where is that. It's here. The wages per hour is here. And here you can see an approximate match because it's a range. So if you are in the age that fell into the range of 16 and 21, for example 17, 18, then you will have the output as €6 per hour. So let's try that. Again, VLOOKUP, because the table is organized vertically, but in the end we will use true instead of false. So is VLOOKUP, lookup value is in this case the age. So not the name anymore, because now the input we have, or in this table we only have age, not names. So since we already know the age, we can just use the age as the lookup value and go to table array starting from F14 to I18, I19. Okay, so that's the table array, and then the output is column index 1, 2, 3, 4, number 4. Okay, and the range of the lookup, as I just said, is approximate match, because if someone's age is not mentioned here but still falls in a range of the mentioned ranges, then we still want the Excel to find it. So that's why it's true instead of false. So Excel will search 16, too small, 21, oh, we have a hit, then give the output 6, and in Adam's case, it will move on to 22 and then have a hit and give the output of 8.7 in column number 4. Okay, again, dollar signs to fix the column for the same reason as the one above, and drag it horizontally. Yes, we have another row covered, and you see here it's not exactly as written as the euros here. We have one more decimal in the original table, so it's just a matter of formatting that you need to increase the decimal for one place. And next one, gender. So gender is here and related to the name, so very easy as we did for the age, just that now the column index number would be number 2. So is we look up, where is the lookup value again? The name and table array. At least here, cover more, no problem. Column number 2, range of the lookup is exact match. We lock the A14 by the column and the same for D24. Here we go. We have all the genders. Additional wages. Let's read the instruction to see what the additional wages is depending on. If the worker is male, then the additional wage will be 10%. And if the worker is female, it will have no additional 10%. That sounds very wrong, but since it's an instruction, I guess we just use that as a practice. So additional wages, we need to first see whether this person's gender is F or M. So if the logical test is gender compared to, do we have either M or F in this table? If yes, then we have to refer to that cell, but the answer is no, so we will have to write it by ourselves. We can choose to write either either F or M. It doesn't matter for now, but later on the value if true and value if false might differ. So let's say it's M. So if the value is true, then the additional 10% should be in play. So that's the 10%, and value if false would be 0%. Okay, and that's not finished yet, I assume, because we only have a percentage, but we also need to use that percentage to multiply the original wage to find out how much the additional wage is. So before we click enter, we need to lock the cell by the column, and B5 we leave it since we need to make it flexible. So here 0 and we copy all the way to there. Interesting. 0 1 0 0 0 2 0 1. Yeah, it doesn't seem right. Again, when you see something suspicious, first thing you need to think about is probably the decimal. Otherwise, probably it should change from a number to currency or from the percentage to the number, etc. So we can fix it here. So in this case, I assume again is a problem with decimal. So we will increase the decimal. Alright, next one, base salary. The base salary, according to the instruction, is equal to the wages per hour plus the additional wages multiplied by the hours worked. So the hours worked is here, and the wage per hours is here, additional wages there. Okay, this will be a simple formula. So first, add up the wage and the additional wage. Use parentheses because the plus and minus will always calculate later than multiply and divide. And now we have the multiply of 160 hours, and we keep everything flexible because everything needs to move column by column. Okay, 960, not bad, and okay, now we have everything. And how about bonus? Let's see what bonus depends on. The size of the bonus depends on the department of the employee works in. Here we have the bonus per department table, and if someone working in the human resource, 2%, sales 5%, etc. So here, I am not so sure whether here it should be a percentage or an amount. So let's assume it's a total amount, calculated amount. So first we need to figure out the percentage by the department, and then we calculate how much would that mean. So let's try. Yeah, but we also don't know which department that person is, right? So the department is here. So talking it through in normal English is just first use the name to find department, and then use the department to find the bonus. And of course, now we practice many times. To find department, we use VLOOKUP, and then we will use another lookup function, but this time will be HLOOKUP, because you see this table is organized horizontally instead of vertically. So we need to use horizontal lookup, HLOOKUP. So how do we do that? Yeah, don't be scared. We just first do our VLOOKUP and add the HLOOKUP later. So VLOOKUP, here VLOOKUP, we need to look up for the name, and table area again here, and now is column number 4 as output, and it should be exact match, and the table should be fixed by the column. Okay, now we know the department. Okay, so this whole part should be the input of the other function. Okay, let me fix my screen first. Okay, I hope it's back. Yeah, all right. So the VLOOKUP here should be the input of the HLOOKUP. How do we do that? So we use the HLOOKUP to cover this whole VLOOKUP and use this whole part as input, as a lookup value. So lookup B2 table array column number 4 and false. All these will be considered as the input of the HLOOKUP. Oh, okay, let's go back. And here, semicolon, next one, table array. So the first part gives us the department, and then we will search that department in the new table array that's here. And the row index number, we start with what we are looking for and we end with the output. The row number is number 2 because it's the second row in the selected table, and the range of the lookup is an exact match because we want to know exactly the percentage of the department. There's no range in this table. Okay, let's finish this HLOOKUP, and something to be fixed. It's also by the column because we later on will move horizontally again. So now we know the percentage, and then it's time to use the percentage to multiply the base salary. Then we have the amount of the bonus. So these whole parts, let's review again. VLOOKUP to find which department that person works for, and then HLOOKUP to find out how much percentage that person should have depends on the department, and then times base salary. Okay, let's copy that. Yes. Total salary is equal to the base salary plus the bonus. That's easy. Base salary plus the bonus. And copy everywhere. And the net salary is the total salary minus the income tax. How much is the income tax? And if you see here, we have some rules, and use 1500 as the threshold. So if the income tax should apply, then it only applies to someone that's earning 1500 or more. Actually, 1500 is not included, as instructed. And I quote, income tax applies only if the total salary exceeds 1500 euros. So this will be more than, not more than or equal to. So here we see if the amount of salary is more than 1500, then 20% will apply, otherwise 0%. Close parentheses, and we need to log down these by the column. Okay, now we have the percentage, but what do we actually need is the net salary. Okay, we have the percentage, but we also need to use, let's put it in front of the if function, we also need to use the original number of amount of salary to minus the percentage and multiplies the original amount of the salary. So you have first check whether it's more than 1500. If yes, 20%. If not, 0%, and times the original amount, and use that original amount to minus the calculated tax amount. Okay, here we go. This one is less than 1500. That's why it didn't change. Let's check whether it's working with everything else. It looks like it's working. Let's quickly compare to the official answer. So here is the answer. It's all the same. It's all the same. Just that the bonus part, it shows the percentage, and we calculated the total amount. So either you calculate the total amount here or here. So you have to calculate it at some point. But since the instruction need to be further clarified, so we can change it back to the percentage. So we just need to not use the HLOOKUP, but use the HLOOKUP later. So you know what happened. Probably you can change it by yourself, or it's not necessary if you understand it. Okay, we still have an extra sheet here. It by itself gives 3 more different scenarios. So we can consider this as a separate exercise. I hope you can do this by yourself. Otherwise, I will make another video to talk about this part in particular. So for now, we covered the main part of the mock exam number 2 for advanced Excel. We have covered basic VLOOKUP, basic if, and also sometimes 2 functions nested together, and also sometimes with the basic instruction, we have to improvise, we have to try to understand what the scenario in real business is. So this is mock exam number 2 for advanced Excel. I'll see you next time when we deal with Microsoft Access.